Hi guys, so now I would like to introduce you to my top rules in the mental game. This video is based on the video about the box play. So if you want to follow me in my thinking and in my explanations, you would need to watch that box play video first, and then I'm sure you can just follow me much better what I'm talking about. So there are some sayings which are always very true. I mean, rule number one is every shot must have a purpose. There's also a book written by Lynn Merritt and Pia Nilsson, two wonderful ladies in the mental game, super coaches. And it's so true. Every shot must have a purpose. It doesn't matter if it's practice or if it's on the course. Every shot must have a purpose. It's never a shot you just have a transfer shot or just transporting whatever. If you're not focused and if you don't give the shot a purpose, it will not be a good golf shot. And this is what I'm convinced about, right? So if you want to have a purpose, you really have to do some practice swing. When you say, okay, I want to have the purpose of giving it a fade, of giving it a draw, a spin. This is a purpose. The purpose also, if you have a lining up, this is all the box play, the pre-shot routine. This is how you give the shot a better or more purpose. So this is point number one. So I actually announced it before that, this is the pre-shot routine, the box play, the commitment line. And then, of course, you have the post-shot routine as well. And I think, in my opinion, it has so much more, importance. Not much more, but it has as much importance to your golf game as the pre-shot routine. Okay, so now I'm also talking a little bit more about the post-shot routine. So let's say, I have my club, I have my in-between goal, I line up properly, I'm gonna hit that shot. Okay, let's just hit that shot. All right, so if I like that shot, I'm gonna give it a link. So I've always used to have those little wristbands. I'm just shaking it down, for example, or, some golfers, they pull the shirt or they just let the club roll a little bit in their hands, whatsoever. But you have to give your brain some kind of move, or, it could also be music, but of course in that moment, a move or movement in your you can snap your fingers, whatever. A quick one where you can react on that shot right away would help tremendously. So I can tell you how I always did it, because I asked my mental coach, Justin Walsh. I said, I want to have a little trigger, what I can put into my pre-shot routine, what is not so obvious, So I was thinking, if you watch golfers on TV, you see a lot of pulling the pants, the shirts, the hat, this move, whatever. Just be cautious the next time. You will see there are a lot of movements going on before the shot. So for me, it was always the wristbands. So when I stood behind the ball, before I actually crossed over the commitment line, I was always shaking down my hand, because that was my link. When I was practicing or when I was even on the course and was a good shot, I always did this. So my brain has the link that this movement is connected to a positive experience, which is a good golf shot, right? So this is what I also brought into my pre-shot routine, but also needed to happen in the post-shot routine. So this is some kind of memory for my brain, how I can trigger the good results better. If I had a bad shot, I don't do this. Of course, why should I link it? So that's the linking point. When I say to my students, when they tell me about their last couple of rounds, or they always say, I've been playing well in the private round, but in the tournament round, they were failing a little bit. I always ask one question, which is the most important for me. I said, so if you would have stood behind or in front of the mirror in the evening and just facing yourself, could you have said, I gave everything? I gave every shot, I gave 100%, I gave a purpose, I did everything out there I had, but not more came out. If you have done that, there's nothing, to be sorry for or to think this is wrong, because if you think about it, if you just do a couple of shots which are going out of bounds, you didn't pay attention to your lining up, you didn't pay attention to your grip, you didn't pay attention to a lot of things which matter when you play a tournament, when you play golf. And if you're just too loose and not concentrate enough, then this is something you need to work on. So the man in the mirror after the round of golf for me is decisive. If you gave everything, there was not much more on that day, it's fine. Okay, so that's another point. We had the linking, we had the man in the mirror, we had the purpose of every golf shot. What is also very important for me is what you do in between the golf shots. This is something you might have never been thinking about because, you know, some of you guys are very, you know, are very talkative, that you're talking to your friends or who you're playing with. Some don't want to talk. It doesn't matter what type you are, but for me, it was always the sign of opening my glove. It was like after a couple meters after the ball, I was opening up my glove, and then I needed to make a cut. It didn't matter if the shot was nice or it was not so good. I somehow just disconnected with this golf shot. So I brought my head somewhere else. I was, you know, sometimes I was watching the planes, sometimes I was just watching the nature, because this is something we hardly do. We are in such a nice place. Every golf course has its beauty, and so little time we pay attention to that beauty. So really watch the nature around you. Or what I also did in my tournament, because I was away from home, I was abroad, I was thinking, okay, where am I gonna go for dinner? What am I gonna cook? Whatsoever. But bring your brain and your mental side away from the golf course for a couple minutes, because 10 meters before the next golf shot, I'm gonna close my glove and the next shot is its turn. So in between the shots, you have to find a way to get away from the course, because you cannot concentrate between 4 and 5 hours. It's way too difficult, and no brain has the power to really stand this. I know that Annika Sörensen, my big idol, always when I was playing, I had the pleasure of playing with her. She did exactly the same. She was also thinking of different things in between shots, and just imagine how good she used to be, and still is, of course. So think about it, you know, just to turn off that brain by opening up the glove, taking off whatever in between the shots. So those tips were for me key. I had a mental scorecard. I used to note it down. If you want to have more information for that, just let me know in the comments below that video. Yeah, so those are little things not many golfers think about, but this is something what brings you to your next level. So note it down, and maybe you think about it next time you're on the course. I really hope I could help you with that. This is, you know, this is mental. It has nothing to do with the golf swing, but sometimes it's much more important. So if you like this content, just put a thumbs up below that video, subscribe this channel, and of course, you can follow me on Instagram as well. I would be very happy about that. Now I wish you all the best on the course and have fun practicing. See you soon.